All right. Hi, AP seminar. Welcome back. I know that class has been very busy and I've been out quite a bit doing IMPs. If you've presented, hopefully you're feeling a little wave of relief that you're able to just focus on prepping for your AP exam now. If you have not yet presented, then I will either see you very soon or maybe in the next couple days. So today, I am out for your class for one of the last days. I'm going to be back Wednesday of this week. So I will see you tomorrow all day for your class period. So today, what you're going to do while I'm out, while you're with your sub, we're going to go through the agenda. So you're going to review the exam questions document. So last week when you guys were reviewing part A and part B, when we had those days, you watched a video from Miss Filosa where she talked you through, let's just get a reminder about the tasks. What does the rubric say? What do they ask us to do for part A and part B? I had you fill out those daily Google forms to kind of mark your progress, see what we're learning, what you were using your class time for on those days. And so many good questions came back from that. So I put together a document, all AP seminar teachers and I worked on the document to answer your questions. So that's the first thing I'm going to have you do today, spend a little bit of time and review that. Okay. So by the time you're actually coming to this video, you would have already done that. So what we're going to do in this video is review the part A and part B rubrics one more time, get you back into that mindset, walking you through the 3 skills for part A and the 4 skills for part B. Then we're going to circle back sophomores and seniors. Last week during testing, your blended activity was to review some sample student work from the 2018 exam. So submissions to that exam, and then you were to score it. You did that in a Google form. Was it high, medium, or low for each row? And we're going to talk about why those scored the way that they did. So I'm going to show you kind of the College Board feedback on those. There was quite a range of students who scored those all over the place. So I want to talk about what those scored and why to help you understand how the College Board may assess you. And then we're actually not going to have time today. So you can count off item number 4. We're going to do that together in class. Okay. Upcoming deadlines and reminders. I want you to remember that we are submitting both of your essays, your IRR and your IWA, in class on this Thursday. There are no exceptions to this. By the time you guys walk out of class Thursday, you will have all submitted wherever you're at in the process. Okay, so it should be finished and we're submitting together on Thursday. Okay, your AP exam, part A and part B, is May 4th. I know that our testing coordinators and our college counselors, they are sending out even more information to your email very soon about testing location, transportation, all of that. Okay, so let's get into what we're going to focus on today. Okay, want to congratulate those of you who have presented everything. If not, you are very close, and let's focus our attention today on part A and part B. Okay, here's our calendar. Today and tomorrow, we are assessing end of course exam student examples. So things that students in the past have submitted, we're going to score them and talk about why did the College Board score it the way that they did? So were you right on how you assessed it? What should we be looking for? How can you compare your work to those students? Thursday, we're submitting. We're taking the whole day to dot our I's and cross our T's and submit. I submit your videos and you submit your essays. So we'll make sure that's all taken care of today. And then we do an end of course exam part A practice on Friday. And then we do a part B practice on Monday. And then we do just kind of loose ends review those last 2 days before your exam. Okay. So to review your part A and your part B rubric, the 3 rows for part A, let's go back to this rubric. And this is where you guys are going to use these copies that you should have gotten from the front table today. So the first page is the part A rubric and the part B rubric. Then we have the 2018 student example work. So the answer to question 1, 2, and 3. And then we have their part B answer here. Okay. So you can follow along with me just on the video, but you can also be looking at these rubric rows in front of you. Okay. For part A, remember, You are analyzing what's already there. You're not making your own new unique argument. That comes in part B. For part A, you are first understanding and analyzing the argument. You are identifying, if we look in this high category, the author's argument, their main idea, their thesis. Those three words mean the same thing. What is their purpose for writing this? Think about it. Was it informative? Was it argumentative? Are they arguing for something, or are they trying to inform you of something? Okay. You want to kind of look at all of their claims and then look at what is the summation of those claims? What are they trying to communicate to you through this piece of writing? It is one sentence, maybe two. That's your shortest response, is part A, row 1. Okay. Then on your answer document, you would flip to your next page and you would write your response for part A, question 2. And this row, what they're looking for is your ability to analyze the argument. So if we look over in the high scoring category here, the response provides a thorough explanation of the author's line of reasoning by identifying relevant claims and explaining connections among them. This is where we think about our signal word sort. Not only identify what those claims are, usually there are 3. Most AP seminars exams that we have seen, there have been 3 claims. So not only what are they, but how do they connect? Think about your signal word sort. Are the first 2 claims building upon one another, and the third is a counter argument or showing opposition? Think about those connective words. Look for the transitional words throughout to help you answer that question. Row 3 then, so when you would flip in your answer document and you would be evaluating the sources and the evidence used. My recommendation is that for each claim, you pull a specific piece of evidence, whether you're paraphrasing or directly quoting it, and you are discussing the quality of that source, if it's credible, does the author give enough information, and don't be afraid to critique. They want to see that you are able to critique these sources. That's going to show that you understand what high quality credibility and sources look like in writing. Okay. Part B, this is where you're going to get 4 stimulus sources. You're going to read over them, and then you identify or you create your own unique argument using those sources. Okay, so row 1, establishing your argument. What they're looking for is that your response identifies a theme or an issue that connects those sources. And then you're bringing your own insightful approach to those sources. You're making strong thematic connections among your perspectives. So you're doing one or some of those things. Row 2 in your writing, this is where they're looking for you to establish your argument. You have a line of reasoning. You logically transition through a well-organized argument, well-organized essay, and that your analysis, your commentary explains the evidence that you're bringing in from at least 2 of those 4 sources. And you're clearly connecting your claims back to whatever your argument is. Okay. Third row is your selection and your use of evidence. From at least 2 of the stimulus materials, you are either paraphrasing or using direct quotes that appropriately support your argument. Okay. The person next to you, you won't know this, but the person next to you might use the exact same claim, but they might be using it for a different argument. As long as you can explain how it supports your unique argument, you're good. Row 4 is your convention. So we're looking for free of grammatical errors as best you can. You're handwriting this, do your best, grammar, style, and that you're effectively integrating material from the sources into your argument. You can refer to this in your parenthetical citation as source A, source B, source C, source D. Okay, or you can refer to it by title and author if they offer you enough information. All right, so here is where we're going to go back to the 2018 samples in your packet. If you are a junior, you haven't yet seen this. So in the packet, you're going to need to spend a little bit more time reading these. Luckily, they're not too long. Okay, the data that you see in front of you here is what I pulled from the students who did submit an evaluation of question A, B, and C, or question 1, 2, and 3 for part A, excuse me. Students tended to evaluate the answer to question 1 in part A as a medium scoring response. Question 2 in part A, students mostly across the board evaluated that as a low scoring response. And question 3 in part A, students evaluated that as low scoring as well. But we had a lot of variety in a lot of other student responses, and I want to address that variety. Okay, so as you read these are actually all low scoring responses for part A. Okay, for question 1, 2, and 3. So the next thing that you will see in your, actually, this isn't in your packet, so I'll talk you through it, is why they're low scoring. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is pause the video here, and I'm going to have you read these to yourself so that you're reading the responses, you're reading the College Board's commentary, and you're able to identify why they scored low and what you want to avoid in your own writing. Okay, so I'm going to have you do that now. Pause. When you finish reading and comparing to the responses, you can press play on the video. Okay, at this point, you press play on the video. You've read through the student responses and you've read through the College Board's commentary. Okay, what we're going to do next is same thing for part B. Okay, so part B, we have a spread as well of student responses. So this is again from the 2018 exam. So at this stage, if you are a junior and you have not yet read this student's response to part B, you're going to pause and go read their argument. Even if you already read it, if you're a sophomore or a senior and you read it on your blended day, or if you read it, then go back and refamiliarize yourself with their response. Okay, when you're finished with that, let's take a look at how students tended to score these. All right, so these are low across the board, and we're going to talk about why again. Okay, so on this next slide here, I'm going to have you pause the video. You're going to read over the College Board's evaluation of why this is a low scoring part B response. You're going to compare it to this student response, and then you're going to internalize what you want to do better for your own response when we start to practice this next week, and then when you do it yourself on your AP exam next week. Okay, so pause the video, read the evaluation, compare it here, and then come back. All right, you guys, if you press play on the video, then you have gotten through what I need you to get through today. You may have seen that next slide of what will happen if you choose to drop the exam at this stage. Maybe you're a senior and your school doesn't take it. We're going to talk about that tomorrow when I come back to class, just so that you know. So with that, you are finished for the day for me. You can take these packets with you. You can review these low scoring responses. You can compare them to the College Board commentary you have in front of you in this video, and you can compare them to the rubric as well. All right. Thank you guys for your attention. Be good for your sub, and I will see you tomorrow.